Hare Krishna. So today we'll be reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter number 13 and verse number 187. So is this verse coming out? So kindly repeat. तोमारा ऊपर प्रभुर सुप्रसन्न मना, तोमारा ऊपर प्रभुर सुप्रसन्न मना, तोमा लक्ष्य करी शिक्षा ये नाने जगना. तोमारा ऊपरे प्रभुर सुप्रसन्न मना, तोमा लक्ष्य करी शिक्षा ये नाने जगना. हो तोमारा ऊपरे प्रभुर सुप्रसन्न मना, तोमा लक्ष्य करी शिक्षा ये नाने जगना. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya informed the king, "The Lord is very satisfied with you. By pointing you out, he was teaching his personal associates how to behave with mundane people." Purport: although outwardly the king was a mundane man, interested in money and women, internally he was purified by devotional activities. He showed this by engaging as a street sweeper to please Lord Jagannath. A person may appear to be a pounds and shillings man interested in money and women, but if he is actually very meek and humble and surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is not mundane. Such a judgment can be made only by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his very confidential devotees. As a great principle, however, no devotee should intimately mix with mundane people interested in money and women. So this verse is coming in Chaitanya Charitamrita in a very beautiful setting when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Jagannath Puri, and now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is participating in this beautiful festival Jagannath Rath Yatra. So a little background on this verse. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is talking to a very, very special devotee. He is talking here to Maharaj Prataprudra. Maharaj Prataprudra is a Maharaj, he's a king. He's having a lot of wealth, he's having a lot of power, prestige, wives, a kingdom, subjects, so many. Now, what happened during this time, and we are talking about late 1400s and early 1500s, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, then he decided to go to Sri Jagannath Puri Dham. And now, when Mahaprabhu visited Jagannath Puri, actually he came to stay there in Jagannath Puri. Now when Mahaprabhu came, he also came with his associates. And Maharaj Prataprudra was the king there. When Maharaj Prataprudra saw more than Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he saw the associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he really got attracted he really got fascinated to see the happiness of these Vaishnavas. And he developed this desire, very deep desire, that I want to be with them. I want to be with the associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and I want to be with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why? Because they are so happy. Just seeing this happiness in Krishna consciousness, the happiness of bhakti, Maharaj Prataprudra developed this desire. And everything starts from desire. Now, what happened after? So, he was a king, and he has his spiritual master, Kashi Mishra, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was the superintendent. He was a very, very big Brahmin in Jagannath Puri. Then he approached Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Maharaj Prataprudra approached Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, expressed his desire that I want to meet with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now, after the desire, what he is looking for? He is looking for direction. So he had the desire. Now he went to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and he is looking for direction. That how can I go about and meet with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? I mean, he's a king. He can order, I want to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but no. Because he's a very, very pious king. Right? Very wonderful Vaishnava, very, very elevated Vaishnava. So he knew that if I want to ultimately meet with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what I need is direction. Direction from the superiors, direction from the gurus. So that's why he approached Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And he's been asking Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, how can I meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? How can I go to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? How can I get mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? And now the time of Rath Yatra is here. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is telling, the Lord is very satisfied with you. And don't worry, he's going to meet with you. Now, a little more background that he tried a lot. Maharaj Prataprudra, he is the king, but at the same time, he is a very, very wonderful Vaishnava. So he tried a lot. He has a very sincere desire. I want to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never gave him audience. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so strict that he said, if you talk to me again, if you ask me again to meet with Maharaj Prataprudra, I will leave Jagannath Puri. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so strict. And why? Because this is in principle. Srila Prabhupada said in his purport that a sincere spiritualist should avoid to mingle with mundane people. People who are attached to money and women, we should avoid meeting with them, right? So that's what the principle was. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a sannyasi. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very exemplary and he said, no, I'm not going to meet Maharaj Prataprudra at any cost. Again and again, devotees are coming and telling him, this king is not an ordinary king. This king is such a Vaishnav. He's very, very wonderful devotee. He's helping us. He's helping us in our Sankirtan movement. Mahaprabhu, please give him audience. Mahaprabhu, please give him audience. But Mahaprabhu always said no. But Maharaj Prataprudra was determined. Maharaj Prataprudra had a very strong desire. Then he got direction from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. When he desired, Mahaprabhu did not give him audience. Very sincere desire. Mahaprabhu did not give him audience. When he took direction, when he took shelter of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Kashi Mishra and other senior Vaishnavas, even then Mahaprabhu did not give him audience. And then it was not like that, okay, I mean, I tried. If he doesn't want to meet with me, I'm okay. I can still serve, I can still help, I can keep going with my bhakti. No, he was determined. Just like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was determined not to meet with him, Maharaj Prataprudra said, I will give up my life. I will give up this kingship. I will give up my life if I can't meet with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is the use of my life? So he was determined. Even with that kind of determination, he was not getting audience of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then what triggered Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? That is very important to know. Desire, direction, and determination definitely needed in our spiritual life to receive kripa. Ultimately, bhakti process is all about receiving kripa, mercy, right? But the fourth thing attracted Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's kripa to Maharaj Prataprudra. And what was that? The disposition of humility. When Maharaj Prataprudra came on the streets, sweeping the streets as a menial servant, not just show off, he was doing it out of extreme humility in his heart. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw that, and that point, Mahaprabhu's heart got moved. And then there were multiple instances where Maharaj Prataprudra showed genuine humility. And this disposition of humility attracted mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Not the desire alone, not the direction alone, and not even his own determination to meet with direction and desire. But when he took the disposition of humility, when he really showed the genuine humility, then Mahaprabhu's heart moved. And we know the story how in the Jagannath Vallabha gardens, again he showed his extreme humility. On the direction of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and other Vaishnavas, he gave up his kingly clothes and he just took very simple outfits, and then he went in and then he massaged Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taking rest, and he was singing this beautiful song of Gopi Geet, and that time it really invoked extreme kripa in the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Maharaj Prataprudra. So dear devotees, this humility is actually the only way to invoke kripa. We can have, very sincere desire when we come to spiritual life that, oh, this is a very beautiful path. I want to stay here. I want to do bhakti. I want to grow in bhakti. That's my desire. But the desire alone is not enough. Even after desiring, we very sincerely take shelter of sadhus. We very nicely take direction from seniors, our Guru Vargas. Even with that direction, we can continue to perform our sadhana and seva. We can perform, nice sadhana, nice seva. But that also is not enough. With determination, we can keep, chanting in the morning and doing so many services, take up big positions in the temple and serve like anything, But that is not enough. Until and unless we have humility in the heart, it's not going to attract mercy. And ultimately, we are looking for kripa. Bhakti Jivan is not about, achieving big services, doing this and that, or knowing scriptures in and out, or have very wonderful skills of doing so many services. No, that's not the goal. Ultimate goal is to attract kripa of the Lord. And that is what Maharaj Pratap Rudra exemplified. He wanted kripa, and he ultimately knew that's going to come from humility. Now the question is, what is humility? To really develop this humility in the heart. And this is a cultivable quality. Some people think that, some people are very naturally humble, and some people are, even after in Krishna consciousness for many, many years, they are not showing that kind of sign, or even I am not showing that a sign, we can think. But humility is actually a cultivable quality. Now, to cultivate something, we need to know what is it. So what is humility? Who can share in just a sentence or so, what is the definition of humility? If that is our ultimate goal, right? We want to cultivate humility because that is the only thing that will attract mercy of Shri Gaura Nitai. So what is humility? Yes, Prabhu.
Albert Einstein said, I've seen so far because I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. I would say he was a humble scientist.
Oh, wow. So, with that scientist example, okay. Yes, Mataji. Thinking ourselves lower than others is humility. Wow, wonderful. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Prabhu.
Even though you have been blessed with a lot of opulence,
Yeah.
you consider one person as consider ourselves as unworthy and seek always association of a devotee and a service.
Even though we have opulence, even then we seek association of others and think others greater than us. Yes, wonderful. Yes, Prabhuji.
Srila Prabhupada defined one purport. Humility means to not have the anxiety
Wow.
to be recognized.
Yes.
Not be anxious.
Yeah, humility means not to be anxious for prestige or respect from others. Yes, that is beautiful. Very, very deep. Yes, Prabhu.
So I read in one Maharaj's class actually that humility means honesty. So
Humility means honesty.
who you are, you're never really the owner of anything. You're just temporary, in this given some facilities to do some service.
Yeah.
As long as you know that honestly what is around you, who you are, it's
Wow. So honesty is humility. Wow, wonderful. Yeah, absolutely right. Whatever you all said is absolutely right. And just to summarize, we can say humility can be understood with three different types of mentality. If a person has these three types of thought process or mentality, then that person is humble. Number one, thinking myself not the doer. If we can think that I am not the doer, then that person is humble. We have to keep doing, but I'm not the doer. So we have to do like everything depends on me, but we pray in the heart that I'm not the doer. Everything depends on you, O my Lord. So I'm not the doer. So that kind of mentality is very, very critical to cultivate this humility. Number two, and which is very, very important, is a mentality of thinking, understanding, feeling that I do not deserve. When we feel that I deserve, then that is the point where the humilities go away. So this feeling that I don't deserve this, I don't deserve to be here, I don't deserve to serve, I don't deserve to chant the holy names. You know how amazing, how rare, how wonderful this is. the process, the people around me. I don't deserve to be in association of these Vaishnavas. I don't deserve to perform this wonderful seva. I don't deserve. And actually, that's true. I mean, if we see, for how many millions of lifetimes, what kind of things we are doing, what kind of offenses, what kind of actions we've been doing. Do I deserve? It's actually, just like Prabhu said, honesty, right? So, thinking oneself not the doer. Second is thinking, understanding, realizing that I do not deserve. When we have these two mentality, then the third type of mentality we develop, and that is mentality of das, being das. So, I'm not the doer, I do not deserve. And then with that mood, when we serve, then that is dasatva. Then that will give us this mood which our Acharya wants us to cultivate. Das, 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 anudas. So, service is important. Krishna's darshan is important. But is it most important? So if someone is having Krishna's darshans, like, in deity form or Sakshat darshan, is that ultimate? Anyone here would like to have darshan of Krishna, Radharani? Oh, not all of us. We all want to have darshans, right? Okay, so suppose if Krishna comes in front of us, is that ultimate? We don't deserve that, but is that ultimate? Is ultimate? Well, if that would have been ultimate, then Duryodhan's heart would have changed. Because Krishna not only came in front of him multiple times, Krishna came in front of him in universal form also, just like Arjuna. Krishna came in front of him as Duta. Krishna came in front of him as well-wisher. Even then his heart did not change. Right? So what was lacking in Duryodhan? Humility. Right? Without humility, if we come in front of Krishna, that is not the end. We have to cultivate humility. Service without humility. Service without humility can be a pious activity. But you ready for this? Service without humility can be also curse. Why you are saying service can be curse? Dear devotees, service without proper mood and attitude can develop ahankar like anything. And which is the most binding thing in this world, and that is a curse. Ahankar is curse. So if we do not have proper mood of humility, understanding of humility, and we keep on serving, ultimately, with the guidance, with the mercy, we can develop that mood while serving, but it's better to have that understanding and then cultivate that mood, that service has to be done with proper mood, right? And with that humility, if we do, then service makes sense. That can purify the heart, right? Otherwise, after sometimes doing so much service, heart feels hard instead of softening the heart, right? Because it's the mood, it's the way we approach the Lord, same way how we approach the seva, right? So humility is the ingredient that can bring what it's supposed to bring, right? Service, darshan, holy names. In holy names, if we approach Harinam Prabhu with humility, then we see the transformation of heart, right? And that's why all the Sikshashtakam verses, especially the third verse, Trinadapi suni chena taroriva sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. And if we analyze this verse is talking about this mentality that I'm not the doer. I don't deserve. Right? So this mentality is very, very important. Now, we are talking about a lot of D's today. So just to summarize so far, that to properly progress in spiritual life and ultimately receive mercy, we definitely have to have desire. Then we have to have direction. And then we have to have determination. But that's not enough. We should have or have disposition of humility, right? So 4 Ds. Now, what is humility? I am not the doer. I do not deserve. And then third is das. This das mood, das bhav, right? Das, anudas. Now the question is that, yes, okay, humility is everything. And in life of Maharaj Pratap Rudra and all other Vaishnavas, we see, if we study their lives, that ultimately it's humility. It's dinta that attracts the heart, right? And this is what dinta is. Now we understand, right? Now question is, how do we get it? How do we develop it, right? So that's a very important question. So I asked this question to a few sadhus, very senior Vaishnavas. And interestingly, the answer came in a very beautiful way. And I'll just summarize the answers I received in 2 words. How we can develop humility. So from so many answers, 2 words. And these 2 words are try and cry. Without crying for the humility, trying will not work. Trying for humility without crying will not work. So our process is trying and crying. We have to try and cry. Try, cry, cry, try. And this is what our life should be. What is trying means? Trying means just like what we are doing right now. We are trying to study scriptures. We are trying to come to the programs. We are trying to chant the holy names. We are trying to create a beautiful environment at home. We are trying to cultivate good habits. We are trying to understand scriptures. So this is our try. Every morning we wake up. Every morning we take our bead bag and then chant the holy names for a few hours. This is our trying. But trying alone can bring humility? No. Again, we have to cry for humility. Without crying, humility won't come. And what is crying? Crying is actually crying. Literally crying. We have to literally feel that I can't do it. There is no way. My chanting of holy names can bring this humility in my heart. This chanting of holy names or, whatever else I'm doing, serving and, spending so much time in the temple and doing, our deity seva and everything else what we do is not enough. So it has to couple with crying. So trying and crying. So this is what our acharyas have showed us. Our acharyagan, Shad Goswamis, they were doing very intense bhajan. All of them were doing very, very intense bhajan. Right? I mean, some were chanting 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh naam. And then they were very, very strict. They were writing books. They were studying scriptures, hours and hours. But at the same time, dear devotees, our acharyas have showed us that they were crying also. They were not just doing what what we are supposed to do, bhajan. And how can we say that they were crying also? We can say that from their bhajans. The crying of our acharyas is very, very visible, very clearly visible in their bhajans, right? So we have to try and then we have to cry. Shishi Gauranithai ki jai, Shishi Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Ji ki jai, Shishi Srinath Gopal Ji ki jai. So this trying and crying is very important. Now it's almost time. Now this month of Kartik is coming, right? Very, very beautiful month of Kartik is coming. And we of course try all year around. But our acharyas actually specifically said that this is the month of crying. Cry for kripa. Cry for this humility. And this is the month of who? Srimati Radharani. The origin of kripa. The origin of prema. The personification of kripa, right? So this is the month of Srimati Radharani. And if we very sincerely try and very, very sincerely cry, we can cry by singing the bhajans. We can literally cry in front of our deities. We can cry in front of no one, just us and Lord, and say that I am unable to cultivate this humility. I have this desire of being honored, like His Grace Madan Gopal Prabhu said. This desire of being honored is so deep. It's hard to get it uprooted, right? Even though we are in spiritual life, we are in process for many, many years, we can feel this is so difficult, right? So it can happen. It can happen by this process of trying and crying, and then understanding what humility is, and very, very intently try to cultivate this humility, understanding that this is the only way and only way to get mercy. So with that, we'll stop here. Time wise, you have time for questions and all? Comments? Okay, just one. Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Divana Prabhu, for a wonderful class. So I would just ask for a little bit more clarification on this crying part. What I understand is the crying is telling Lord that, Lord, without your mercy, it's not possible for me. Should I put it that way?
Yeah.
Without your mercy, I won't be able to.
Yeah.
Without your mercy, I cannot improve my chances. Without your mercy,
Yeah.
I cannot have a improvement in my sadhana.
Yeah.
Is it the correct way to look at it?
Yeah, absolutely, Prabhu. So this is actually very tricky, and I've been also pondering on this subject that okay, if we have to do everything, we have to put the effort, and that strength also comes from the Lord, and that strength goes through us in performing the sadhana, then actually it is coming from the Lord. Then how can I? So it's like little tricky, but how we understand this, Prabhu, based on what we have understood from the Vaishnavas, is a very beautiful saying that we have to do our sadhana in a way that everything depends on me. When we perform sadhana, then that crying part should be little side. I mean, not in the sense that sadhana is also crying. It's a little complicated, but when we do sadhana, then, I just have to put everything in. Meaning, it's not just going to come by saying that, okay, just, I can do it. So you have to help me. Well, of course, everything is coming from the Lord, but then we have to make determination. We have to be determined. No, morning sadhana means morning sadhana. Brahmurat Jap means Brahmurat Jap. There is no other way. This is the process given by our acharyas, performed by our acharyas. Mangal Arti means Mangal Arti. Studying scriptures means studying scriptures. I have to put everything in. So this is how we perform it. how we perform it and how we feel it has to be different. How we feel it is that even though I'm doing it, it's not going to happen of what I'm doing it. It's just the kripa. It's the merciful glance. It's the kripa. That one day will change my heart. I'm chanting every day. That's chanting. It's not like 5 years and then there will be one day I will be chanting and then suddenly there will be something and I will feel, oh, now I'm humble. No. It won't happen like that. We have to keep on chanting, but suddenly, well, gradually I would say, we'll start feeling kripa. And then we'll feel the change of heart. And at that point, we have to understand that this is actually coming from the Lord, not on the strength of my own sadhana. So it is, that's how. So we have to perform that everything depends on me, but we have to pray that everything depends on you, O my Lord. So that is the crying part, right? So the crying has to be performed every day. It's not like once in a while we can just say, when the chanting is really bad, then we say, no, the crying has to be a daily thing. Means the prayers. We have to really have this prayer session, Vandanam, right? So Kirtan, Shravan Kirtan, but Vandanam, right? So Vandanam is also very, very important part. And we have beautiful bhajans, Prabhu. This actually gives us access to the heart of our acharyas, the crying heart of our acharyas. There's beautiful bhajans. And I don't know if you have time, but you can sing some Gauranga Karuna Karo, Ami Deenaheen Jana. Oh my God, such a beautiful bhajan. And so many such bhajans by Narottam Das Thakur, and they are crying for Kripa. Oh Lord, I am Deenaheen. I am such a, lowly person. Amara Jivan Sada Paparata. Oh my God. So this is all crying of our acharyas. So there's one way of performing this sincere crying. I mean, in our society, crying is generally taken in negative connotation, like weak people cry, right? But it is not like that in bhakti process. So we can tap in these bhajans and associate with sincere people, those who have this sincere desire to develop humility, or those who are humble. And when we associate with them, then we can get this. This is actually very powerful association. Yes, Prabhu.
There's one analogy.
Yes.
Good question. The analogy I always give to explain this point
Yeah.
is like a little child.
Uh-huh.
They go to this mela.
Yeah.
They have this hammer thing, big hammer, and you hit it on the plate, and the thing goes up. You get a prize. So the child cries, "I want to play this thing." The child cannot even lift the hammer. The father lifts. The child holds the hammer. The father actually also holds and lifts it and hits it, and the child wins the prize. Now the intelligent child will realize, okay, I cried, so I got this. And if it wasn't me holding it, my father would not do it by himself. He will only do it if I'm holding it. And
Exactly.
the intelligent child feels, the strength is coming from father, but if I let go, he'll also let go.
No,
So we
beautiful.
have to do
Yeah.
the movement
Yeah.
while knowing the strength is coming from Krishna,
Krishna.
while crying for the prize.
Beautiful.
Crying has to be constant, otherwise he will not do it for us.
Yeah, exactly.
But we don't let go either.
Yeah,
Because we
you
know
have
the
to.
direction.
Yeah.
Ultimately, even direction and
It's
skill
coming
comes
from Krishna only. Yes,
He
exactly.
will not do it if we don't desire, and our desire will only be shown the intensity of a crying.
Yes.
That analogy is a good way to show who is the doer.
Who is the doer? Yeah.
Doer is the child
Yeah.
and Krishna.
And Krishna.
And the hammer.
And the hammer, yes.
See,
Yeah.
and Gita says
These
the doer
bhagavad-
is the soul, but again he says the doer is the three modes.
Yeah.
He says the doer is me.
It's me, super soul,
In
yeah.
this case, all three are there.
All three are there.
Without all three aligning, the
Yeah.
action doesn't happen.
Action doesn't
So
happen.
crying has to be the first.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. Beautiful analogy. Okay, so we'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.